Well, I think we've given people more than enough time to join, so we can get started with the presentation and the demo today. So thank you very much for taking the time to join the Discover Digital series. My name is Tracy Anang. I'm an account executive here at Dotdigital, and today we're going to be going through cross-channel marketing. So to give you an idea about Dotdigital, we are the go-to-market CXDP platform or customer experience data platform. We have over 4,000 brands and more than 400 employees, and we have expertise and experience that allows us to help you with all of your marketing automation needs. Another thing I love to tell people is that in December 2020, we became the first carbon neutral ISO 14001 certified marketing automation platform in the world. So that means every email, SMS, chat response, or push notification you send will be carbon neutral. That's pretty cool, right? So, no matter where your customers are or where you'd like to reach them, whether that be email, SMS, mobile, web, you name it, we've got it covered. And of course, all of the data streams into one master source, giving you the tools to grow your business and really connect with your audience. We're going to get ready to harness first party data and AI powered tech to supercharge your marketing strategy. So as we know, in today's demo, we're going to go into speaking about cross-channel marketing. So as a part of today's demonstration, we are going to demo how to send emails and SMS that really resonate with your customers. We're going to look into retargeting customers using our platform extension and social audience connectors. And we're also going to be able to deliver push and personalized push notification at the perfect moment. So I'm just going to change my screen so we can go into the platform demonstration. And there is a chat function. If there is any questions at all, please feel free to just let me know. Mm, All righty. So the first thing we're going to be doing on the demonstration is just showing you how you can create emails and SMS that resonate with your customers. So we're going to do it in a bit of an interesting way. And one thing to just kind of make you aware of is the series that we're going to be discussing today, cross-channel marketing, shouldn't take us the full hour. We should be able to touch on all of these things relatively quickly. And then if there are any questions at all, please feel free to either raise your hand or pop a question in the chat. So we've started first of all with how we would create a email. So I'm going to go back a step and just show you a couple of things that we would configure before being able to move into the body of an email. So once you've chosen your template, so whether that be a free template or a custom template that we design for you, there are a few things to configure before being able to move into either the body of your email or the body of your SMS. So first thing in an email scenario would be to configure your subject line. What do you want people to see? We can bring in any emojis if you need to. We can bring in any data fields, so any of that personalized data that you've collected. And we can also use Winston AI. So for any Digital customers, I'm sure you would have heard about Winston AI, but for anybody who doesn't, who isn't a direct customer of ours at the moment, Winston AI is our AI tool. So he allows you, or he takes many different forms within the platform and can allow you to do many different things with some AI or machine learning help. So whether that be suggested alternatives, grammar checking, changing your tone, changing the length, rephrasing text, or just adding in emojis, there's a lot of different things that Winston AI can help you to do. And I'll show you what else he can do once we move into the body of the email. We would also configure our friendly from name. So what do we want people to see immediately before the email alias? where do they want to see that the email is coming from, and then we would configure the from address. So with Dotdigital, you have one free custom from address. So that essentially means that we would ask you to point one of your subdomains, point a main domain to our subdomain so that we can create a custom from address and kind of protect your sender reputation and deliverability if we need to. So once this page has been configured, you can just save and continue, and then you can go into creating the body of your email. So I had a template here that should have been ready to use, but unfortunately I think it's disappeared. So I'll just go into how we would create the body of an email. And then from this point, I'll show you something that's really cool in the platform, how we can convert an email to an SMS at the touch of a button. So with Dotdigital, everything is drag and drop. So you can drag from the left to the right to be able to build the emails that you need. If we have any custom building blocks, anything that you've already created for yourself, you can bring these in and it's going to populate exactly what would have been in there before. We can start to bring in any of the data fields. So any of that personalized information that you have from a recipient, we can start to bring in from this point. So whether that be first name, last name, any of their last order information, we can start to bring in any of these things. For any of our e-commerce kind of customers, we can start to bring in things like any lookalike product recommendations. We can bring in also bought next. We can bring in a large variety of product recommendations to help you to build and draw people to your email. We can also do things like bringing in dynamic content blocks. So if you wanted to have multiple versions of an email going to different people, just with a different variant, we can help you with that as well. So if I bring in one of the dynamic content blocks, as we can see here, we have variations. So all we would need to do is select the data field that you would like to have the variation in. So maybe if you're sending different information to people depending on the branch that they've previously purchased from, we can use that. We can drill down and is it equal to, not equals to, contains, does not contains, and so on and so forth. We can be as broad or as granular as we need to. So let's just say if it's a branch name and we want it to be equal to London, we would just add in the corresponding name, press OK, and then press apply. As you can see, we can add in multiple different variations. So depending on the information that a recipient gives you, that will mean what will populate in the different dynamic content blocks. So we can preview here, we can show you exactly how it would look once everything has been populated. So we'll just wait for this to come up. Amazing. So as you can see, we brought in things like product recommendation, we brought in first name, all of the different things that you would have brought in from your emails will be able to transfer over once you send. And the thing I did want to show you on this page, which I think could really save some people some time in being able to utilize Dotdigital's full cross-channel capabilities, is using Winston AI. So as I showed you before with the subject line, we can do things like changing the tone, changing the length, rephrasing text. There's a large variety of things that we can do with Winston AI. But I would say one of the most powerful things that we can do at this point is just converting an email to an SMS. So let's imagine we've got an email that's absolutely amazing. It's been built with all of the messaging that will really resonate with our recipients. How do we get the same kind of messaging within the same body of it, within that's in an email, within an SMS? All we need to do is press this button and then we convert the email to an SMS. So it pulls in all of the relevant information from that store. So as we can see, the one before, I was pulling in information about a branch name, about an exclusive offer, and we can see the information over here. There was some Latin in there just to fill it in, and that's why you're seeing some of the kind of strange text over here. So that's one of the ways that we would be able to build an SMS within Dotdigital. We can just find an email, one that really resonates with us, and then convert that to an SMS. That is one of the options. or we can just build an SMS campaign from this point and use that as a means to target people as well. We don't only have to use emails. So with Dotdigital, we have a completely omni-channeled approach, and you can target people in the channel that best resonates with them. So whether that be email, whether that be SMS or MMS for our US and Canadian clients, whether it be WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, push notification, or web personalization, we can help you to target your customers wherever they may be. So if we are building an SMS campaign, I'll just go back again so we can see exactly what we would do to get started. It's relatively simple for an SMS campaign. You just need to decide, are you doing a full campaign or are you sending a single SMS message? I've already got one kind of populated, so we can start to build this. In fact, no, that's the one we converted from a email. So let's go back to a blank one. Perfect. So with Dotdigital, there's a couple of things again that you would need to configure once you're building your SMS, just so you can be able to move forward. So the first thing is the message type. Would you like to send an SMS or an MMS? As I mentioned, MMS at the moment is only available for our clients in the United States and in Canada, but it is something that we're looking to roll out within EMEA as soon as possible. Then you would be able to decide the sender. So similarly with the emails, you can have either a virtual mobile number or a keyword on a short code. There's other ways that we can get you as a sender, but those would probably be the ways. So you would be able to decide, do you want it to be the virtual mobile number? What sender do you want to be sending from? From there, you can decide how many SMS segments do you actually want to use within this message. So you can leave it as not set, but we know an SMS message is 160 characters. So we want to make sure, if you want to make sure to not go over that, we have ways to kind of make sure that you're not going over budget or doing any messages that exceed your limit at all. So you can set it as one, as two, not set, and so on and so forth. We're going to do it just for one so that we know that we're limited ever so slightly. We also have a couple of these icons at the bottom for you to be able to utilize anything else that's in the platform. So if you wanted to be able to use any of the data fields to be able to personalize this information, we can do that. We can help you to bring in any of the data fields that you've collected. So with Dotdigital, you can record up to 600. So whether that be text data, numeric data, yes or no fields, or date data, we can use any of that information. So maybe if you wanted to be able to personalize it and speak to people directly, we can start to bring in things like first name. So let's just say hi, first name, and then comma. You've seen that you didn't take advantage of your discount. Here is a new discount code. And then from this point, we can start to bring in any of the other things that you have within Dotdigital. If you wanted to be able to bring in any of your surveys, pages, and forms, we can start to include these. So if you wanted to use maybe the SMS to understand people's preferences, maybe if you've used it for event registration and you just want to be able to populate that information, maybe if it's a competition, maybe if it's even a chat form, as long as you have a survey page and form, saved in Dotdigital, we can start to bring that into the SMS should we need to. So I'm just going to click on the preference center and let's just imagine that that's a discount code. We can see over here that we would have included the link, but we've already turned on link shortening. So it's not going to take all of or take a lot of the characters within your SMS. We make sure to be able to trim that down so we don't take as many characters as possible. We have a preview on the right hand side, so you can see exactly how it will render for your recipient. Obviously, we can see that we need a space over here, and now it looks a little bit better. We have the ability to preview it as a contact. So if you wanted to see exactly how it would be for a personalized email contact, we can do that for you as well. So we can see that with all of the information that we would be able to bring in, so first name and then shortening the link, it's only 120 characters, so it's still just one SMS. There are different campaign options available to you. So would you like this to be a broadcast message or just a triggered send? It's up to you. You would just press either or and be able to send it either as a broadcast or triggered message. We can also do split testing. So if you wanted to be able to test, obviously, a subsection of your recipients, see which one, or if the an SMS resonates more with X people than Y people, we will wait to see which one performs the best, and then we're going to send out that SMS to the remaining audience. And then, as we can see here, this is where we decided to shorten the links, and it is set as default in our preference center, but you have the ability to kind of turn it off or keep it on if you need to. So once we're happy with the campaign options, we would just press save, and then we've got our SMS. So there's a couple of options available to you. You can test send. So with Dotdigital, within the emails, test sends are unlimited and they're not paid for. But with our SMS, you will see that you will have an amount of credits to be able to do your test sends to. So you can either add in a number at this point to be able to just send it to a single recipient, or you can create an address book of people to be able to test any SMSs to. So once you're happy with your message, you want to be able to move forward, you would just press save and continue, and then you can go into the scheduling of your SMS. Do you have a list of people already that you want it to go out to? You can do it like this. Do you want it to send immediately or schedule the send? We can do this for you. We can help you with understanding different time zones. So do you want it to send in our time zone, the recipient's time zone? Would you like to stagger the sends? There's a number of different things that we can help you to do with SMS marketing. And lastly, just the last thing to make you aware of would be what happens in the scenario that your SMS doesn't deliver. So we have a node here for undelivered SMS. Would you like to expire after 3 days? So to default. So if maybe somebody's phone is off, if they're somewhere where it hasn't been delivered, when do you want it to expire? Or you can actually set a date and have it to expire after a set amount of time. So that's primarily everything I'd like to show you in SMS. Do we have any questions at all? Does anyone need me to clarify anything? All right, we'll take that as a no. So from here, the only other thing for me to show you is how we can utilize Dotdigital to do the full cross-channel marketing. How can we utilize things like Messenger, push notification, and all of our other extensions to be able to target our recipients on the channel that matters to them? So we can do that with our automation programs. So I've got one that I've started to build out, and then we can see exactly how we can use this for full cross-channel marketing. So within our automation builders, there are a couple of things to kind of do before you can get started with being able to connect all of your different kind of messaging nodes and build out your automation as you desire. So we would first start by configuring the start node. So you would have to configure the enrollment scheduling, the enrollment rule, and the enrollment limits. When do you want people to be enrolled into the automation? Where do you want them to come from? So with the enrollment rules, we can either have them to be triggered from a contact date field or a segment. So if you've recorded things like maybe a birthday, maybe an anniversary, maybe a membership renewal date, subscription renewal date, we can use any of those contact date fields as a means to trigger information, to trigger communications, or we can just use a segment. So do you want to copy an existing one or create a new one? we can do that for you as well. And then we have our enrollment limits. How often do we want people to be enrolled into this automation? In this scenario, we're going to be doing a retargeting, a automation. So we want to re-enroll contacts if they meet the start criteria, but if they haven't been enrolled in maybe the last 90 days. So we're going to give them time to obviously do their desired action, and then we'll be able to re-enroll them if they haven't done what we needed them to do. So once we have set our start criteria, we would press apply, and then we have all of our nodes on the left hand side. And this is where we can get really exciting and send people down multiple different funnels depending on the actions that they take. So if we wanted to do a full retargeting program, we can do so with our messaging nodes on the left-hand side. So let's just say if we wanted to start with an email campaign, we want to target people with an email campaign. So the first thing to do would be to select your campaign. And let's just say we want to re-engage non-active players, non-active recipients, non-active consumers, whatever you would like to call it. But we are going to re-engage these people. So we are going to send them the re-engage email, and then we are going to wait. So with Dotdigital, we have the ability to delay actions by any particular times should you need to. So let's just say we've started our automation, we've sent people an email, and now we want to wait and see exactly what they're going to do. So we can wait for either a set number of days, wait until a set time of the day, of the week, of the month, and so on and so forth. But we are going to wait for a set number of days. So we're going to send out an email and we're going to wait for 4 days and see exactly what our recipient does. Then we can do a decision node. So these, as you can see on the left hand side, we have a number of different decision nodes that you can take. So there's just simple decision. So what happens if someone does open or doesn't open, or you can set the different conditions. It's completely up to you. But then we also have multi-decision, we have date split, we have quantity split, and we have random split. So you can send people down as many different funnels as you need to, depending on the action that they take. So in this scenario, what we're going to do is, what do we want to have happen if someone has opened the email? If they have opened the email, then they've done our desired action, and we're just going to end the automation there. So from this at this point, we would just set our exit conditions with the exit node, and they are very simple. Has somebody reached the end node, or have they unsubscribed from the account? You can add additional exit conditions if you need to, but we're going to keep it relatively simple and just say if somebody has reached the end node or unsubscribed, then we'll exit them from the automation. So, but what do we do in the scenario that they haven't opened the email? This is where we can start to retarget them on all of the different channels that we have. So we can start maybe with an SMS campaign. So we are going to send them an SMS campaign if they don't open the email. So again, all we have to do is select the expiry and the campaign. So we're going to use just this SMS campaign and send that out again as a means to retarget or re-engage our customers. So again, in this scenario, we can do a number of different actions. Come on, move for me, friend. All right. It doesn't want to do that, so we're just going to have to continue to build on the below. So we have sent somebody an SMS. Again, we can wait and see what they do with another decision node. So we can click on here. Again, we can create rules. So the condition is, what is the condition for them to go down the yes route? Again, we have a drop down of different options that we can do. Have they opened an email campaign? Have they clicked a link in the campaign? Have they been sent a campaign? Have they got a data rule change? Are they present in a particular segment, or have they opted for a particular preference? So let's say in this scenario, we've sent somebody a SMS and they have changed something within their data rule, or within their contact date field, we know it's somebody that we actually have a mobile number for. So we want SMS field 1 to where is it, to not be empty. So we know in this scenario that the person has a SMS, has a mobile number that we can contact them with, and then we're going to use that to be able to send them any SMSs. So once we have configured the conditions, then we would obviously configure the wait time. Do you want it to be immediately for somebody to go down this route, or do you want to wait for a set number for a set time? We're going to go immediately because we don't want to delay that by any action. So I should have done that one there, but let's imagine that's over here. So we've got our SMS node, we've sent somebody an email, we waited to see if they engaged, they haven't, so we've sent them an SMS. We can do the same again and wait and see exactly what happens with a recipient. Have they done a desired action? So in this one, we have the decision node again, we've sent them down, and now what do we do if the decision node, if the SMS node is populated? Again, we can send them another SMS if we want to, or if not, we can target them on another channel. So we can start to bring in push notification if you need to. So again, once you click to configure the action, this is where you'll be able to build your message. So with our push notifications, these are all managed through API. So if we have an app and we're able to connect to, we'll be able to pull the information from the app to be able to populate the push notification. So the first things you would need to do in this scenario is to create your title. Why are you targeting people? What do you want to say? So maybe if it is new discount code, and then what do you want the message to be? Next 1 hour. So you have the ability to write your message in here. It's similar to SMS, but not. So we do have, again, the 160 characters rule, but that's just what will populate on somebody's phone on the actual push notification. You're not limited at all into how much you put, but again, remember how push notification displays, and then we want something that's going to be quite snappy, quite something to draw their attention. So again, from this point, we can decide exactly what type of push notification is it. Do you want to make them open the app? Is it open a deep link? So do you want to push them to a certain page within the app? Do you want to pass over data, or do you want them to open a survey page or form? Anything at all to be able to capture any data. So once you've configured what you want this to be, then we would press apply. And then again, we have our automation here where we can start targeting people on push notification. So if we go down again and we have, let me kind of reduce the size so we can see the full kind of automation. Mm, Apologies for how messy it looks, but let me try and condense it so we can all see. Perfect. So now we have our retargeting automation. It is a little bit messy, but we can see exactly what would happen. So we have our start node. We've configured exactly why people would be included, what rules, and where they would be coming from. We've sent them an email. We've waited, and we've waited to see exactly what they would do with the decision node. Then, if it was under the yes route, we have just exited them from the automation. But in this scenario, if it was the no route, we have sent them an SMS campaign. So we sent them the SMS campaign on the basis that their SMS field is not empty. Then we again sent them an SMS, and if it was empty, then we have started by sending them a push notification. So as we can see, there's a number of different program nodes that we can use to be able to target a recipient. And then from there, so let's just say we've sent them all of our different messaging nodes, and now we want to action them. So what can you do with your recipients? We can add recipients to any address books. We can remove contacts from address books, or we can even update them. We can use any of these action nodes to action exactly what happens within Dotdigital. But we have the ability to also action on Facebook audience and with Google Ads. So if we drag in one of these nodes over here, then you would have to configure your action. So in this scenario, with our Facebook audience node, we can help you with adding people to a selected audience within your Facebook audience, or we can remove people from an audience if we need to. We can create a new audience, or we can start a new audience. So this could be really, really powerful in you are targeting somebody on Facebook, but you've seen that the SMS was the reason why they converted, why they've done the desired action. As we know, we pay for each recipient on Facebook. That would be the perfect time to essentially remove them from a selected audience, so you know you're not paying for the ad spend twice. So we can configure on Google Audience if we need to, or we can also start to target people on Google Ads as well if we need to. On. Fantastic. Unfortunately, we don't have Google Ads enabled on this platform, but we can see exactly what you would be able to do with Google. So with Google, we can help you to obviously retarget. So we can help you to connect your contacts. We can obviously help you to personalize any of your campaigns and target them on the channel that actually resonates with them. So we can see how we can use our automation as a means to be able to target people on all of the different channels that resonates with them. So whether that be with Facebook Messenger, whether it be adding them or removing them from a Facebook audience, or using Google Ads as a means to target them. We can target them kind of any way that we need to. And the last thing, just kind of to make you aware of, is how would we be able to connect your different mediums to Dotdigital. We can do that in the settings node. So within our settings node, I've just come all the way down here into settings. This is where we would be able to add and configure your different digital marketing channels. So we would click on this page and be able to see exactly what you have added or enabled on the platform. So we can see here you have the ability to add and include Facebook audience, Google Ads, Messenger, push notification, and just triggered SMS. So once we click on any of them, then you can see exactly what you have in there. If you have multiple audiences that you have used, if you have multiple kind of push notification instances that you can use, you have them all enabled and configured within your settings node, as we can see over here. So yes, that's essentially everything we'd want to show you about the cross-channel marketing capabilities on Dotdigital. Do we have any questions at all? Anything anyone would like me to clarify? No. Alrighty. Well, thank you very, very much for taking the time to join today. Again, my name has been Tracy. Oh, have I got a question? When converting, I have a question here. When converting email to SMS, does it bring in any images? I am not 100% sure about that, but I would say no. I have your information, Maria, so I can double check that and send you a definitive answer. But I would say at the moment, no. It's only for SMS. If it was for MMS, so multimedia messaging, then we would be able to bring in any images. But because it's just standard kind of messaging, it wouldn't bring over any images. But I'll double check that and be able to send you a answer following on from this. Do we have any other questions at all? All right, I think we don't. Well, thank you very much again for taking the time to join the webinar with us. Uh, we do have a couple of more webinars in the series just to make you aware of. So we do have the Discover Digital customer data and integration series on the 22nd of May, and then finishing off with our personalization series on the 12th of June. So we hope you can join us for those two sessions, and thank you again for your time. Uh, Is there a link to the demos? The new demos, do you mean, Maria? I'm going to say yes. Perfect. So the same way you would have been able to register for these ones, you will see it, be able to see it on the website, or I can again send you the link to those demos as well if you'd prefer. Will do, Maria. Thanks again for your time, guys. Have a great day.